What a curious shroud. What is this material? So interesting. Raider, bow and all. Is this some kind of special Galoin shroud? It looks good. A little too small for me. Maybe if I took it and sewed it a bit, it would be a good shawl. Toss it over the right shoulder. Maybe mix it with something else. Interesting. Oh. The figure's long, draping wings seem to swoop around the side and then pull away. A dark form with very, very trace bits of blue spread throughout. It had completely enveloped Arkat in a split moment as it sort of shifted back. As its body moved, a number of bells shifted, and through the robes there was a strange appendage held beneath the legs. The legs themselves, it wasn't quite right. There was something off with them, but it was hard to see. The form itself seemed to be about a head taller than Arkat right now, but even that was wrong. However it was formed, it was crouching now. Wrapped in its cloak, its single, long hat draping over, the bells occasionally shifting with its stance. As it moved closer, you could barely see the expression. Dark black eyes that occasionally are enveloped by some strange sort of eyelid that seems to envelop it from time to time. Feathers darting out from the face and underneath, forming this sort of black shroud throughout the figure's form, but with a pale skin flesh on the face. Its fingers were like dry, purplish skin, grayish a bit, long, pointed, sharp fingers poking at Arkat's side. Arkat, that was it. I remember your name now. The way you held that bow was always so funny. Tiny little body pulling back and shooting it, shaking, shivering. Definitely a sight worth remembering a name, but perhaps not anything else. All right. The form seemed to suddenly stop, shifting its way up, preparing to just move past.
I stared at this figure. They know me, but I don't know them. They explain how I worked for the Lich, how I fought. Were they always watching me? I shiver and grab onto the side of this figure. Wait,
In that moment, the figure seemed to stop. Its head tilted and almost stretched. Its neck was longer as the entire form pushed out. You could see ruffling feathers poking out from behind the gold metal bracelets that seemed to line the neck as it stretched out. You could also see the form lifting up. Arkat was almost pulled from the ground as two large bird-like legs pointed out, the reversed joints letting it stand up tall, almost straight. And at that point, its length was even taller than I was. It seemed to stretch out to about 8, maybe 9 feet from the length, but it was thin, bony and feathery, puffed up by multiple feathers scouting throughout its form as it peeked down and looked across the way, gazing at Arkat.
Very brave, Golok, to stop me. What is it? What do you want?
Taking a guess and maybe a leap of faith, I bow my head. Apologies, we are just passing through here.
Oh, very well. But I thought Goloks weren't allowed here.
Our previous master seems to have been absent for the time being, and we were worried and went to see what was going on.
Oh, loyal little small one.
Very, very loyal. Varnus deserved a loyal companion such as you. Well, I won't keep you much longer, but I have my own affairs that way, if you don't mind.
Of course. Shakily, I bow and let go of the feathers, the coat. I let go of the person in front of me.
We watched her take a step, standing to her full height for a moment as she stood there, prepared herself, and wide wings enveloped out from the coat. And there was a leap, a hop straight into the air, which almost gliding down using her light frame as she landed down directly next to them. Turning her attention over there, she made a step past, stopped for a moment.
Oh, now this is a good shroud. Where did you find this small?
I glance around in surprise. It felt like a hallucination of seeing Arcat across the way being accosted by this mysterious figure, and it didn't really impress on me that this was a moment happening almost in between time until it spoke to me. I am actually here on business from the local town. My master has sent me here as a academic exercise. You must be familiar with the one and only Salamander Le Creme.
Her head tilted slightly, shifting to the side, the entire bell array on it just moving and making a jingling sound as she moved.
I don't know that name. I don't really care about it either. I want to know where you found these beautiful clothes.
Indeed, ma'am. This is a shroud that I have sewn myself. I am an academic of the textile arts.
Well, perhaps I'll have to pay you a visit, little small one.
Of course.
This is truly fantastic. The ruffles.
I saw her hand drift across the clothes for a moment, one of the sharp claws pulling at the ruffle for a moment and peeling it back a bit.
I must have it. But later.
At the moment she touched my clothes, surprising me, a revulsion built up inside. I worked hard on these clothes, and the idea of somebody touching me without permission, even though I was fully aware of my role, filled me with something I couldn't describe at the time. Instead, I swallowed. More than happy to take on commissions, Mom.
I'll speak to you soon then. I'll be coming back. But first, this one has been bugging me about dealing with the problem.
It was at that moment that she reached into her cloak, passed it to her feathered side, into some sort of sack that was standing on her back. She pulled something out that seemed to dangle now, holding it from the red cord as it almost seemed to hang for a moment. It took a second to recognize it, until at that moment I realized it was just one of those dolls. But unlike the ones before, this one had been cut from whatever tether. It seemed motionless in the hand.
Isn't that right, sweetie?
It hung there, lifeless.
Finally shut up, huh? Well.
With a swift motion, it was tossed, chucked over the edge, falling down to the bottom of the ravine. And as it happened, she turned. Without another word, she slipped, cracking open the door and bringing her entire body. You could see the way her legs were crouching down, peeling their way through the door as her entire form stretched up, and then with a gentle push, the door simply closed behind. As I stared, I sort of moved quickly to hold the door, checking on the other end. I peeked it, watching her drift forward, a trap activating, her body swiftly moving back and then shifting forward as she found her way moving closer to the room with Master Assembly in it, or at least the room that was.
Right.
We need to get out of here.
We do.
It's at this point, I held fast to the bag, quietly, throughout the entire conversation. This individual's peculiar attention to not only garb, her own, Gartriness's. My companions looked down and over at me to notice the gently vibrating bag in my hands. Having loaded all of the useless garbage collected in the last room into the sack, I was ready to dispense a positive geyser of oil upon her and her clothing, should she touch my companions more. Hey everyone, I need to turn this away really fast.
I hate to say this. We still need to cross the ravine.
All
right, Yayo, your turn.
Hold on. I turned and moved over, looking at Gartriness. Are you okay? Hey, you did great. You kept it together in front of somebody who probably would have skewered us on the spot. genuinely really impressive.
You know, having read about our more recent history in our relationships with humans and the various things that we had as our role as indentured servitude, I felt lucky that I never really had to experience that. I have only ever really made clothes for people that I really wanted to make clothes for. And the idea that she could just demand that I make something for her, I feel nauseous.
It's probably no consolation, especially after your work was functionally just treated as an exploitable commodity, but for what it's worth, someone like her doesn't deserve shrouds as good as yours.
Thank you. I genuinely feel better with you having said that. I appreciate it. I know my current style or approach to Golowan traditional clothing is unorthodox, but I'm glad you appreciate it in its own way. I do feel a little better.
It's like, for me, it's less about tradition and it's more about the practicality of it. I lifted my arms, and there, my shroud, my ceremonial shroud, the shroud that had been handed down in my family for generations, started to almost rip and fall away from my body.
Oh gosh. I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was damaged in such a way. I can...
Well, it's as they say, proof's in the pudding. Your clothes are holding together, mine aren't.
Well, I know there's more. I glance across the ravine to our allies who have been patiently waiting for me to go and get my senses together. We're all desperate to go home, and I am too, but I know I can do this quickly. You can't. I'm afraid I will have to be firm. It is not acceptable for you as a member of Golowan culture to be walking around without an appropriate shroud. I will make you one now. Everybody watched me in silence and probably mild annoyance as I made shrouds using what materials I had on hand and had gathered from the dungeon crawl so far. I have always remained confident in my process of being able to make things quickly. I always assumed that once I decided to step on grand adventure, that I would need to make protective clothing for me and my allies on short notice, and this was a marvelous example of how it could actually come to some benefit.
I remember raising protest at first. I complained, but my companions across the way seemed to flash me rather dirty looks, and Gartrinus had suddenly shifted from an incredibly timid individual to an exceptionally firm one, and noticing that Melanius was blocking my only path of exit, I quietly submitted, and admittedly, 5 minutes in, can't disagree with the quality. Or the speed, to be honest. I stood up. I muttered something inside of my cloak. Ideally too quiet for him to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Well, you look much better now. On you go.
Grumbling, I made my way up to our most hated enemy. I unslung the staff and threw it over the top of the rope and used it almost as a method of suspension to sling my way forwards. Thunk. I made it to the other side, crawled up, and posed dramatically.
Okay. 2 more.
Right. Yes. Sorry to keep everybody waiting, but it was a matter of urgency.
It's fine.
Maybe it was the sense of a job well done, or maybe it was the fact that Yayo Melodiaya had genuinely raised my spirits, but crossing the rope was, well, as easy as breathing.
Melanius, tie the rope around your waist.
My attention had been fully dragged to the door, peeking through and trying to get any more glimpses of this mysterious figure. Her form was shifting around the room, and I managed to catch her all the way until she disappeared behind that doorway. The swiftness of motion, it was interesting. I managed to watch and peek for a time being, and got a lot of observation into it. She reminded me of those who fought in the War of the Stake. All in general, I had never seen anyone quite like her. She definitely was not from around here, and as I started to make mental notes, I was sort of snapped out of it for that moment as I sort of pulled myself back. Right, the rope, yes, hang on.
Come on, just jump and we'll pull and then you'll be fine.
Oh, sure, yeah, I'm sure that'll go fine. I did a running start, and then taking a leap, I felt like I almost tripped on the one leg that had skelefied, but it seemed that making the leap with my better leg was enough to get me to take a full-on jump across, and I felt the pull of the rope as I sort of landed down across and barely managed to make myself finding footing on the other side.
Okay, everyone. Underneath the coffin.
Wait, guys. I think I left my bow in the other room.
Arcat, darling.
I'm joking.
I was about to wish you luck crawling.
I will register. The sense of dread in that moment that spread through the room is worth committing to this journal. It was more palpable than when that tall figure had entered the room.
Upon checking the other room, it had seemed as though there was really no need to take the other way back. After all, peeking on the other side, the room was full of dead skeletons, each and every one of their heads plucked up and taken away.
You know what I'm doing. I'm gathering up all these weapons.
Well, all the same, if we just want to... I slung this spear over on my back for the moment, also looking at this small little candle holder here. Well, there's a little bit more here than that other room, but still, everything seems to be banged up. I think that's Stirrup's fault. The big impacts on the ground. We came through this room, as I said before, if I said that before.
Oh, yeah, because you made it to the... Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Your friend made that crater?
Yeah. Big mace, lots of strength behind it.
How strong are your friends?
Well, they're decently strong. I thought they would be fitting enough to take on this labyrinth with, so they definitely aren't pushovers.
I'm glad I retired before you guys came through.
I suppose you're lucky then, yeah.
Are you... I glance back to the door. I keep expecting her to wander back through upon realizing the sheer amount of havoc we caused at the other end of that corridor. It's fine. I was distracted.
Right. Just, don't worry about her right now. I moved to pick up some more of the items that I caught wind of as Garchinus moved by, thinking of words that came to mind. I'd started to potentially feel bad about completely ignoring him when I started to think about what I could do to potentially take out that monster. So, really, at lack of a better option, I sort of just walked up. Do you need to defend yourself? You could, have this, I guess? Just for safekeeping. I hefted up one of the axes that I found on the ground.
Well, you know what? It's definitely sturdier than the skeleton bones, so I suppose I shall take it gladly. Thank you very much.
Well, she seemed to get pretty entranced about the way your clothes look, so
If she goes around and gets in your face again, I'm sure she won't be expecting that.
If she decides to touch my clothes again, I don't think either of us will be leaving that situation alive.
Oh. Well, hey, that's good. Yeah. Take that attitude, I guess.
I stare across the room, noticing arrows stuck into the side of this ballista,
Mm-hmm.
and run over excitedly as I realize that my quiver is looking mighty empty.
I already looked earlier. There wasn't much for crossbows, but maybe you can find something.
I cursed myself seeing these broken arrows. Somehow, they were pristinely on the wall, but as I dragged them out, I seem to have damaged basically all of them. I'm gonna need a kit.
Well, on the upshot of it, I think most of the things that we've acquired have been able to put us back into reasonable financial repute. I glance at Yaya Melayaya.
We aren't in debt anymore.
Oh, yes, that's right. You put us in debt before we left. I'd forgotten.
For that life-saving potion, you're welcome.
I do believe it was an abacus you bought.
I mean, the abacus isn't what put us into debt. It was the potion that was. A potion which saved your life. I stood up to my full height, wiggling slightly, waiting for praise.
Yes, I do suppose that's true. Thank you very much, Yayo, for the foresight of you having obtained. I suppose more for me for encountering that blob of gelatin and assuming that they weren't toxic.
You can always trust my instincts.
Yes, of course, yes.
Except when it comes to trap rooms.
No.
How much stuff is inside them, and yeah, anyway.
I'm going to put on that shroud again.
Smart.
Back to town?
No, we gotta stop by that crystal on the way back and wail on it with our new weapons.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
No.
Time to get to work.
I approach this rock. Are you sure the thing that we're, bashing it with is like less expensive than the rock we're about to get?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. What do you want me to use?
Hit it with the halberd.
All right. I lift this heavy thing up and bring it down.
Okay.
Thank God, something went good.
Good. I can't believe it. Let's go.
Yes, I think we'll all do a rest.
Now I'm going to put the shroud on.
Smart.
Yeah. For the best.
We started moving back into town, the outer village lands where the merchant stayed first. As we approached, I sort of checked along again. How are we doing this? We organized the study abode, I suppose, back at the town.
Yes.
I should probably not stay and talk with the merchant. She seems like she has very adept eyes.
Oh yeah, no, she'll figure it out instantly.
I guess we'll return to sell our wares in the morning then.
Oh, do you want me to just drop them off now?
Maybe it would be a good way of keeping her distracted while we make our way through.
Sure.
Oh, that's a good idea, yeah.
I'll run it all over.
In the meantime, I'm gonna let the others know about the body count.
Please do.
Right, yeah.
Thank you so much, Arcat. I really appreciate it.
I watched as Yayo approached rapidly with a jangling pile of loot and other things. Somehow, despite her small frame, she was doing a good job at hauling some of the heavier stuff. Though, it was up to Strayay to carry all of that wrapped-up plate armor. Wow, it isn't my friend back to give me some beautiful gifts by the looks of it?
Yeah, here. First of all, check this out. I take the skeleton staff, pointed at this skeleton here, I pull the handkerchief out, and
I command you, kill!
I put it back in.
Whoa,
See?
that's some energy.
Every merchant needs a skeleton, right?
Everyone's looking around now. I noticed that Sayadnap started to gaze across the room. Her gaze met mine for a moment, and immediately Yayo's form just dodged in the way.
Isn't that so funny? Yours like starts to play the lute, and all mine wants is blood.
Also, here's
Yeah, wow. Well, that's something. I mean, the gold looks good, but I don't know how much value the whole thing will be. That seems special.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't sell that.
Oh
if I
yeah,
were
no,
you.
this guy's my sidekick now.
Just like how this guy's my sidekick.
Yeah, exactly. You get it.
Shake, 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 shake.
shake.
Bone rattling noises. Right. So,
You think if yours could talk, you'd want to kill?
nah, he just loves playing music. I'm sure he loved music in his life or something like that. I don't know how these things work.
Looks over at the skeleton. Yeah, that's definitely affirmative.
Yeah. All right, what you got for me? What
Okay.
you got for me?
Well, I took a moment to lay out an inventory of everything we'd collected. When it came to the equipment, we decided it would probably be for the best to keep hold of most of the goods, but I discussed with my companions earlier, and we decided that we're going to be holding on to these weapons that we found, but we're willing to part with the suit of armor, this helmet, all these broken up weapons, and a bunch of fun incense. God, he looks like an incense guy. He'd probably love incense.
Is this Jim Hall?
Yeah.
Oh.
It is. It got a little banged up, but for the most part, pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I could probably give you this for about 210 paltrops.
Makes sense.
220 probably, actually. I just realized that it's a little banged up, but in actuality, these extra chips, if it's just going to be melted down, that's part of it too. It's not going to be turned into
I
jewelry.
actually have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any, like, a pick or some other equivalent just in case we come across more of this stuff in the future?
Oh, a pick?
Yeah.
I could find something like that, sure. Here. I think a pick I could probably sell you for something like 50 paltrops.
That seems reasonable enough. My customer service voice is wounded.
Well, here's that pick. So you know what? Here we go. Okay, so this set of armor is very nice too. So I think armor's a bit more expensive. I can sell it to make a good profit, but not here. This is going to be about 500 paltrops. Add on a handling fee at the end and we'll get that all sorted. But let's see. Well, if I start counting these out, it looks like we have a number of trinkets. I'm gonna, don't need that. Don't need that. No, that's nothing. Okay, yeah. All right, and then we'll put that together. We're looking about 107 paltrops from these trinkets.
107 on top of that? Okay.
And, oh, what's that? I'm not touching your money. Some of your money's in here, but I did notice you have Meteni. That's a rare currency to find out here.
Really?
Alexandrian coin.
Wow.
It's not doing well in the market right now. It's about half the value of a paltrop, but
Hey, money's money.
I'm not sure if I should take this. I mean, you're not gonna have much use for it, but okay, whatever. I'll give you a trade.
Okay.
Meteni's good to hold on to just in case the market changes, but you're not really going to.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, do I really want to get rid of this while it's low?
I don't know, but where are you gonna find a moneylender besides me, huh?
Who knows? I don't know. I'm kind of I've got an upward momentum. My star is still rising.
Well, if your star's still rising, you could obviously make it a good flip on that. Just curious. Do you know any moneylenders?
I probably know somebody that could put me in contact with one. I say thinking about the awful doll.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to let you know that I don't think many moneylenders are gonna make you a nice deal like giving you 1-for-1 on cheap currency.
Makes sense. Well, in that case, you know what? I'll hand it over because you're so sweet. I say the word sweet and it sticks wrong in my mouth.
Oh, perfect, excellent. I'll take this up, and then here's 47 paltrops.
Okay. On top of this, what about all the leftover just junk, assorted junk?
The junk, huh?
We looted like a skeleton room and like a room with some incense in it. I know it's not great, but
Let me see. I don't know if I'll be able to sell this, sorry.
Okay.
Now go give it a town. Come on, they can use charity work.
Okay, last but not least, how much do you think a golden candlestick's worth?
Oh, like what kind of candlestick are we talking about here?
I don't know.
How many heads does it have?
I was just offered a golden candlestick by, Sweet.
Well, let me think. Sweet. I don't know who that is. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
I would say probably I could get you that for maybe about 250 paltrops.
250? Okay, that's pretty good. I'll come back with it when I get it. Still waiting for my payment there.
Excellent. Perfect. All right. Pleasure doing business. Now, I've paid you out. You've given me quite a number of goods. Why don't you buy something in return? After all, I've got plenty of wares for sale.
I quickly finished the deal, deciding to move on before I was, frankly, scammed any more than I was. I could tell those bone-rattling skeletons had shaken forth my merchant's acumen, and I was making deals that were not directly favorable to us, but I think Archinus will like this dagger, plus the Fletcher's kit. Yeah, we're looking great. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for making my pockets heavy today. I'll make them pillows and I'll just lay on them.
I hope you enjoy the large amount of goods and money we just gave you.
Oh, I will. And I hope you enjoy our business deal and helps you out further on your new progress. But hey, tell me, just a little bit of info. What happened?
Well,
how'd you get all this?
You found it.
I leaned in. If you want to know that, that'll cost you.
Oh, how much?
Just enough to push us over for a healing bandage.
Oh, okay. Sure thing. Hang on. Let me reach back there. No, before I give it to you. Come on. What is it? What happened?
Well, I earnestly regaled the person in front of me. Our harrowing journey across the Great Chasm, defeating Ganglion, Master Assembly, and then whatever that being was after the fact, as well as our journey back over the pit. I spared no excruciating detail on that part. 15 minutes of pit narration.
Wow, that sounds like a bad bit.
Anyway, I could tell you were kind of like dozing off during that last bit, but the rest of it.
Well, I mean, all things considered, you've been up to some work. Wow. I wasn't expecting to make this much money this trip, neither was I expecting this to be thrown out of control like this. You're making this a dangerous place to be.
Well, all I'm saying is, you equip us with good stuff, think of it like a future investment.
You know, I heard in some of the Hudman Society that merchants are always the first people to decide who's king's next. Not due to any direct endorsement, but just by selling the weapons to them.
And who would your choice be in this case?
Well, I don't know. I could never make a choice.
Of course.
I'm completely in. I'm not in the politics business. I just sell things.
Of course.
I'm in the economic business.
But
it's different from politics.
I thought the Galoins were your favorites.
Oh, you are my favorites. Personally, as people.
Personally.
Yeah.
Not politically.
Oh, of course not. I don't make political decisions. I'm just an economic girl.
Of course.
Come on, Yaya. You know me.
I do.
Okay, stop making those faces at me. I can see them through the cowl. You can't hide them.
Yeah, the hole did just get punched through this thing. I'm less subtle than I usually am.
Go lay down.
Thank you, you two, on your big pillows of money.
Hey.
Huh?
What's your dog's name?
They say it's been too long. It's so nice to see you. You're a good friend of mine. So long farewell, adieu. No, I can't believe, oh no, not words from deep, but said in facsimile, yearning for that distant we. So I'm searching for near eternity, but I don't know where I should be. Log of branch, no family tree, no friends I have to propensity is my natural state to take flight in perpetuity. And so echo back is only me, cut off from precious we.